Hello again, everyone. It is time for another episode of the Community Connection Show, the show that brings you positive stories and encouraging news as we interview top leaders in every sector of the community. And now, here is your host, national speaker and best-selling author, Ryan Sauers.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another Community Connections show. Super excited today to have my friend and colleague, the one and only Marques Ogden, owner of Ogden Ventures, LLC, with us. Marques, my friend, how are you?
Doing well, Ron. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. We got to start with the background. You look at that jersey. I mean, anybody that's played in the league, I mean, goodness, you're still standing, still moving a little bit. You're still feeling good.
Oh, Ryan, I started about 6 weeks ago. One of my clients named David Kitchen, who was the youngest strength coach in college football at a major division, either 1, 2, or 3 program, is a good friend of mine. And he started me on these workouts about 6 weeks ago. And I've been running for about the last 7 months. So combine the running and then like today was hang clean, snatch pull clean. It was, deadlifts. It was glute ham raises. It's nuts, man. So it's like going back old school workout style. So it's been going great. I mean, building muscle, leaning out. So it's great, but man, it's definitely a price to pay.
Well, the good news in today's world, at least they give you water, right?
True that. Back in the day when I was playing for pro ball, water breaks were few and far between.
Totally different world. Well, for those who don't know you, just give us a little bit of quick Marques Ogden 101 background.
Yeah, so my name is Marques Ogden. I'm from Washington, D.C. I live in a little bitty town called Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. I'm about 30 minutes outside of Raleigh. Very fortunate to have such great friends. I'm a dad of 2 girls. My oldest is 20. My youngest is 10. Our company, Ogden Ventures, have a lot of great people in it. My good friend Dawn, to my friends, Danny, to George, to all these amazing people that have helped us to build a very successful brand. But I've gone through a lot to get here. Bankruptcy, failure, losing everything, home foreclosed on, all that. I'm also a former NFL athlete, but I ended up losing everything that I owned in business in 2013 as a result of my construction company going under as a result, right, Ryan, of an inflated ego and just a very tyrannical, non-serving mentality.
All right, Marques, that's because, in this thing you had built, and if I'm following, very successful, profitable business. And then what for these people and communities all over listening, if you were at the top of the world, you've been in the NFL, you built this business, you alluded to ego a little bit, but what things do you look on now and say, man, this is where we lost sight of what we were doing?
So we really lost sight of what we were doing when I was in the construction company, when we got into dirt work, and we really didn't know it that well. And Ryan, we weren't funded properly to do it well. We really were robbing Peter to pay Paul in a lot of jobs. We had a bank line behind us, but we had too much work come in too fast. And as a result of that, in construction, when you do work, sometimes you don't get paid for 30, 60, 90 days, but you have to carry the cost of the labor. If you're excavating out dirt, the truck is going to get paid within 7 days, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes your suppliers don't go past 30 days. And so you got to have some real big funding behind you or a huge bank line behind you when you're getting into the big boy game of dirt work. Mm-hmm. And we got into it, had a little cash, had some great success early, grew rapidly. But what happened was when we got into a job for our client, we got overextended doing a bunch of extra work that we thought was change order work, and it was deemed to be part of our contract. Right. And because of that,
bam,
we ended up not getting paid that money. It was close to about $3 million, give or take. And when we did not get paid by the developer and the general contractor, we had to shut our doors.
Yeah. So, looking back, this is something I get asked all the time, and I'd love you to answer it. Obviously, we got a million things we're going to talk about, what you're doing now, whatever, but that having cash flow or reserves, how important is that for an entrepreneur starting it?
It's everything. If you don't have ample cash to support the business when times are stalled or hard, if clients aren't paying you, or you hit a dry spot, however you want to call it, if things aren't moving, like right now, it's a really tough time for a lot of people because of the election. People aren't spending, they're concerned, they're worried, who's going to win? Is it Kamala? Is it Trump? Is it, are we going to still have inflation? Are we going to get back to lower prices? People get very concerned, and the media will always put out things to make people even more concerned. So if you're listening to this and you don't have a cash reserve, you don't have a bank, you don't have, capital that you can go and lend, we call asset-based lending. You can do if you have your own capital, you need a short-term fix, go lend against your own money, get it in, bam, pay it back when things do turn around. But if you don't have cash, if you don't own an asset, if you don't have a bank line, and you're just basically hanging on with what's in your account and that's it, if something dries up or doesn't hit, that's how we went under, right? We had a bank line, we had this, we had that. I had a home, which I leveraged. We went to a loan shark and got $150,000, paid it back to $171,000, came back to him again, borrowed another $150,000, couldn't pay it back the second time, right? We played so much of that trying to catch up game. And when the client said, no, Mas, you're not getting paid a dime for this work, it all shut down.
Well, and I want to ask that you might not be surprised, because I agree with you. Two things: small businesses, as I see it as a whole, are a little apprehensive right now. To your point. Second is I see a lot of people. They'll say, "Here, I can do X, Y, Z, and I have 6 months savings, and I'm going to put 6 months in." And I'm always like, I wouldn't do that. I would make sure you're ready, and because there's rainy days, like you said. And but anyway, so you went through this. You went from millions in terms of busting the business from the NFL to what the 825s, kind of starting over. And then how did you come out of this and then go back into building your, probably like me, speaking for $0 an hour? Everybody thinks you hit it from day one. I'm like, where do you start? Free. That's where you start.
Yeah.
But how did you come into this new mindset, or how did it evolve and help you?
So when I moved to Raleigh, I had $4 to my name, and I ended up working as a custodian in downtown Raleigh for $8.25 per hour. And what happened, right, Ryan, was I still had no accountability, no responsibility. I didn't look in what I call the mirror of truth and say, yep, you were the culprit, Marques, you. And because I didn't do that, it took me forever to actually get off the curb. And what happened was I literally had to end up on a curb with someone's trash, rotten meat, and nasty protruding garbage got all over me in September 2013 when I was a custodian working in downtown Raleigh. I call it my spoiled milk moment. And that moment made me realize that was my moment of realization. That was my moment of transformation. That was my moment of inspiration. I realized right then and there, I put me right there. Second was the moment of transformation. If I'm going to get things moving, I have to get up off this curb and transform from a victim to a victor. And then inspiration, I said, well, I want to take the message that I have, share it, get it out to people, help people, get them inspired. And as a result of that, that's when the speaking career began. But like you, it was either no to paid or sure, free. 2.5 years worth. 2.5 years worth. 30 months of free. Finally got my first paid job for $1,500 in 2016 from Millermont College at their 100th commencement graduation speech in Wilmington. And that was the first one. Kept working, kept building. And then now, after getting great coaching and being around great people and going to great programs and masterminds and all this type of stuff, now here we are, we've spoken for over 60 Fortune 500 clients in the last 6 to 8 years. We are a 4-time best-selling author, twice by ourselves, twice as a co-author. We have a very successful podcast, Get Authentic with Marques Ogden, ranked in the top 0.5% most popular podcast worldwide. Brand ambassador, business owner, you name it. But like I tell everybody, I'm also the same guy that was sitting on the curb with $0 in his pocket, right?
Dude, that story legitimately is so powerful.
I didn't know where to go, who to talk to. I mean, the NFL kept us from going homeless, which was amazing. But trying to figure out where to go, who to talk to, what to do. Oh, talk about just brutal in every sense of the word, trying to figure out how to get this thing moving. And it was very hard to get it going.
You know, Mark, so remember the Rocky, I know you're a big sports guy, but the Rocky Balboa, he says, nothing's going to hit as hard as life. And it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward. I've had those moments too, and everybody's kind of looking at you. You feel kind of alone, and you're like, but I think what you just said there, at your bottom, you had to say, all right, I've learned it, and now it's time to just grind. And people always want to, I bet you when you get that $1,500 paycheck, you felt like you won the lottery. It's finally, I
said, finally, someone is paying me for my time.
Right.
Someone's paying me to come and speak to their audience, their team, their students. That was actually a graduation, and their families. And, it really was the beginning of me understanding that I could actually do this. But again, there were so many times, so many opportunities that I never got work, or I never got a call, or I never got any of those things, right? So like this year, our brand was named the 2024 top inspirational athlete and keynote speaker for IOTEP, which is the International Association of Top Professionals. We're being recognized in Nashville in December for this. And yeah, it was really, good in that regard for us. So yeah, I mean, it's very, very, I talk about it's a challenge to get where you want to go, but daggone it, you gotta just embrace that. And I tell people, become that individual that can thrive no matter what life throws them. And you don't have to keep getting recharged, refocused, realigned, re-energized. You just become that person that knows life is going to throw you a knockout punch or an attempt. You're going to get knocked down. You got to get up. You're going to get a 3-2 count. They're not going to throw you a fastball down to hit out of the park. They're going to throw you a nice curveball that, again, you still can hit out of the park, but it's a lot harder than coming right at you. Life's going to go, boom, and come on back up. Like they're going to try. Life's going to try to test you every single day. That's what life is. Life is designed to test you every single day. The ones who come out on top are the ones that have become individuals, men and women, who can withstand, not just withstand anything, but can thrive through anything.
Yeah, 100%. The thriving in uncertainty is just it's just part of it. It's just like life. So when you're now, it seems to me you have great gratitude of, you talk about we and our team. Do you just continue to, what you learned back in 2013 or 2012, 2011, whatever it was, does that play a role in your focus on what you're doing now and keep growing and keep, moving forward?
Oh, of course, Ryan, because I realized it could be gone like that.
Yeah.
Right? You're only as good as your last talk in our business. That's my motto. I don't care how great you were years ago, things like that. Your current client doesn't care about what you did before. They care about what you're doing now, right? Are you professional? Are you getting things done? Are you responding quickly? Are you letting things fall by the wayside? Are you coming to work for them, right? Meeting your pre-con calls. Are you getting in the deck to review as they need it to in a timely fashion? Are you coming to calls on time? Are you somebody that's easy to work with? Do you come to into meetings or virtual meetings, whatever, energized, ready to be innovative and friendly and very outgoing and charismatic? Are you shut out? Are you kind of to yourself? Are you kind of more like reserved, right? These are all things, all factors that play in this game of life. So if you're not going to be someone that can actually do that, right, it's not going to come across well, right? I don't care who you are. If you're trying to work with people and you come across very just stodgy, stiff, not charismatic, not outgoing, not passionate, people are going to think, uh-oh, here's another person that only wants my money.
100%. And, you can't, you're the real deal. I mean, when we were getting this show scheduled, bam, 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 man, we made it happen like that. That speed and convenience and authenticity is you can't fake that, right?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Like, something you said, I just wrote down for my show, bam, bam. It's like watching Batman from the 1960s with Adam West, like poof, pow, bam. Those big things that pop up all the time. But that's what people want, right? Like when I finish with my coaching clients, within a minute, right, they get their email sent with their recap on what we talked about, what we covered, what's their homework, what's our next call, what's our next time, bam, straight away.
Well, and Marcus, I love it.
Wait.
Well, and you know what? Today, to me, too many people, I don't know what you say, too many people, it takes 2 to 3 emails for them to respond, 2 to 3 texts for them to respond. And I sit there and go, if that's the barrier to entry to being somewhat successful, makes it a lot easier if you're prompt. But how much did your high level, professional athletics drill in your head? Hey, man, you got to work harder, got to be in the film room, you got to be the first there. Did that play a role in what drives you or in your mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because you don't become the best by just being average, right? If you want to be the best, you got to outwork the rest. And that's what it really comes down to, right? How are you preparing? What are you doing in the dark to show your best self in the light, right? It's kind of like what Les Brown says. The heart believes, the mind knows. When the heart believes that you are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, your passion, your calling, however you want to call it, right? That's when you do your best work. I tell my clients, I have a lot of clients, unfortunately, are trying to get into something different, but they're still in the trend to pay bills, and I get that. But we've talked about that, especially like this week. If you're doing something and you have the mind and the knowledge to do it, but then your heart's not in it, you will never, ever be the best at it, right? Never. Like your podcast, I got a full day of call. I've been working since 8:30 this morning. I've been up since 5, had a grueling workout with my boy Kitchen. I told him I wanted to kick him up, put him on a chair and kick him off the ledge because of what I feel right now. But that's life, right? So I had a great workout, ran, got in the car, been on a coaching call since 8:30. I worked straight through probably until about 6:30 or 7, right? Doing podcasts, coaching calls, sales calls, whatever the case may be. But I'm energized. I love it, right? Very fortunate. I remember there were times when I was living here in Raleigh, I was just starting out. I would coach football and I was a birthday party clown and I would have a 7-on-7 league and whatever I could do, right, just to make a few bucks, a janitor, to take care of the family. I remember having a little bit of downtime trying to get this going. I would literally get no one called. I had no coaching clients. I had no sales calls. I had zero zilch denada, no upcoming speaking jobs on the books, no plan to grow the business. And I would literally watch Match Game 77, the old game on the Game Show Network. I forgot the guy's name. Gene Rayburn. I would sit there and and now the star of Match Game 77, Gene Rayburn. I kind of sound like him now.
You do.
I watched it that much because I had nothing else going on.
I'm listening to you. It's funny is that I had a big CEO of a couple of different companies on, and they said 2 things recently that just resonated with what you said. That your day is just like my day. And people look at it, and there's very few times I'll look at my own day and go like, man, I'm just slammed. But didn't you think back when you were watching that show? Wow, man, would I love to be slammed? What I love to have calls all day. You wanted that lifestyle. And then when it's come true, whenever a thought pops in my head, I'm so busy. You got to put it with gratitude.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? I dreamed for this back then. Dreamed for it, to be busy, to have things, to want people to want our business. I mean, like, I got divorced about a little over 2 years ago, right? Now here we are. That was a hard time. I had to adjust and this and that. But like I said, now I've become the person. So whatever life throws my way now, I might boop, pop, bam, like old Batman in 1960. I can hit it, I can move, I can pivot. I can, if life is Mike Tyson and I'm Buster Douglas, I can bob and weave and catch it with a hook, knock it out, keep going. Or if Mike catches me with a nice little uppercut, boom, get back up off the canvas and keep going, keep moving. Like, that's who I am now, and it's taken me, years to get here, years. And I'm not talking about 10 years, I'm talking like in the last 12 to 18 months, right?
Right.
Divorce and having to deal with that, and then having to get realigned and then going to an apartment like I was for 7.5 months and having that first Thanksgiving, that first Christmas without my family, the girls split apart, not being with them, living in a dilapidated, really just junky, not clean apartment. I only had 2 weeks to get out when I found that place. That's all I had. And I needed to have 2 bedrooms, and it had to be fully furnished because I had no furniture, nothing. So I was limited in options. Got there, hated it. 7 months, just finally got myself together the first 2.5 months. The last 4.5 months, just worked hard, kept my head down, kept focused, and boom, finally went and got myself to the dream home that I have now.
Wow.
Right? I bought a 3,100 square foot home about a year ago. And again, 2 years ago, I was just filing for divorce. So if you're listening to this interview, in life, that's becoming the person that can handle anything that life throws at you. I did not plan on getting divorced. I thought I had my forever person. I was not planning on that. But life is what it is. And so what do you got to do? You got to get up. You gotta become that person. So if you're listening to this, you have what it takes. And to become that person, focus on what you want. So the focus, lock in, or when you know what you want, set a target on it, and then attack. Action is the foundation of every successful person that I know. Don't sit around. Don't wait too long. Think about it, process. But once you made a decision, you've made that decision, act on it.
Yeah, and Marcus, that day, I agree with you 110%. Overuse it to 110%. But seriously, there's days I'm sure you don't feel like waking up and doing your workout, or you don't feel like, but you do it anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Shoot, man, this week, I'm like, Monday, all right, so it's 4:45. All right, I gotta get up at 5 o'clock. I've got Farrah, so I need to go to the gym over here in our development, get a good workout in, what I can do. I'm like, all right, so it's 5. Do I want to do my auxiliary today and then maybe push this out tomorrow to Tuesday, Wednesday? Or do I just want to say, you know what, make it an extra off day and then do this and that? I was like, no, you don't do that. We don't operate like that. So got up, boom, went in, got my workout, came back, took her to school Tuesday. Oh man, I don't have as much as what I need. That's an excuse, but no, we don't do that. Do it. Worked out. Wednesday off. Today, right? Played poker last night. Lost $100. I can't stand the guys that beat me. That's okay. I'm tired, man. Do I want to go? Yes, you have to, because you don't have Farrah. 4:45, finish your emails. 5 o'clock, do this. 5:30, get your fat butt up. Go get your teeth brushed. Boom. Got there, had my workout, crushed it. Had a mile run, got in the car, started having my calls since 8:30. here we are.
And,
right?
and Marcus, I love it. I just would say to, because a lot of people would say, oh, well, Ryan or Marcus, you just guys are optimistic and positive all the time. I'm saying there's a lot of things I look at it, and that's that hesitation of hitting the snooze button, or maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But that's a slippery slope. And what the answer is, you know what? I've made these commitments, and I'm going to do it, because that's the only way to keep pushing forward.
Great quote by the 16th president of the United States. We all know who he is. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Abraham Lincoln.
Love it.
Okay. And here's the thing. Most people don't know this, and I didn't know it until probably about 3 months ago. I saw in a documentary. So here's what happened. Abraham Lincoln knew that the Confederate was about to win the Civil War. He knew that. He knew that Robert E. Lee was just that much better a general than everybody, including Grant. He knew his only chance to get the country rallied around the cause of the Union was the Gettysburg Address. He knew it. So he was planning to go, had his speech ready. He's ready to hop on the train the next
Right.
day and get things moving. What happens? Life, pain, adversity. I have an acronym for PAGE, turn to PAGE, pain, adversity, gratitude, empowerment. The pain and adversity Lincoln went through at that moment, Mary Todd begged him not to go. And she said, Abraham, our son has typhoid fever. He's sick. And Ryan, they had lost their son to typhoid fever the year before. But Lincoln told Mary, here is what it is. I have to go. I have to go. If I don't go, we're going to lose the Civil War, and the Union and the preservation and freedom and all the things that we've worked for and been bleeding for and having all these soldiers die for will die with our loss. I have to go. He went, delivered an amazing speech, rallied the entire country. More people signed up to be in the Union Army. We had African Americans then sign up to be in the Union Army. About a year later,
bam,
Civil War.
Well, man, I tell you what, I'll ask you a couple more questions. This is so powerful stuff. But at this point, what are you most thankful for in your life? I mean, you've got, you got so many things, your daughters and your business, whatever. I mean,
it's not a question. It's my family and my friends, right? I mean, I have 2 amazing daughters that I have a great relationship with. And to be fully honest, after the divorce with my oldest, it was not great for a while. It wasn't. And it's not her fault. She didn't understand what happened. And once I informed her of what happened, at that moment, our relationship got repaired. And now we have a very, very good one all day. And then I have my other daughter, and we've just been like thick as thieves since birth, right? And then I have great friends in my life, right? I mean, I've got one of my best friends, Dawn Wiener. She's been with me since we met in 2017. Anything that comes my way, hardship in business, life. I remember calling Dawn when I told her I was filing for a divorce, and literally she was the biggest support system right there, asked no questions, jumped in whenever I needed, and helped me with trying to find this or do that or do this or do that. And let me tell you something, man. That's when you know people are for you. When bleep hits the fan, who's there to help you get out of the fire? And that's what I have most. Friends in business like that, in my personal life, my daughters, business, all that stuff is nice, right? But that can come and go. Your friendships, your family, that's what matters most.
Amen. And I got 3 daughters, so I can feel you on that of it's different relationships with each one. That's awesome. Well, let's real quick, just tell people, if they don't know, just briefly, the services your company offers.
So we do keynote speaking. We do national and international. We do in-person and we do virtual. We do business coaching, one-on-one and small group. We do consulting. We work with organizations monthly, or sometimes, most times clients' time is monthly, through Zoom, Teams, whatever, to help their team with different challenges around leadership, marketing and sales, culture enhancement, you name it, we can do it. We also have our podcast. If you want to be a guest on our podcast, email me, Marques, MARQUES, at Marques Ogden, OGDEN.com. We also are a best-selling author, and we are a brand ambassador where we will work with different businesses that we are aligned in the same values with and our value sense to move them forward. So again, we're really big on that aspect. So speaking, coaching, consulting, brand ambassador, author, podcaster. We are very fortunate that people love what we do and what we're about.
I love it. And best way to, I know you're all over social, but what's the main website if people are looking it up?
www.marquesogden.com. Or you can go to our other 360 platform, which is www.marques360.com. Or you can download the Marques Ogden app. It's on any Apple phone, Google, Android phone. Go to your app store, type in MARQUES OGDEN. Boom, it'll pop right up.
Man, this is great. And I know we've got a day packed full of calls, so we'll bring it to an end. Any last quote, thought, something that somebody's listening today, anywhere, and go on, man, I like what this guy's saying. A pizza nugget of truth to speak to them as we close.
Great quote by Denzel Washington. If you haven't failed, you haven't tried hard enough. In life, you will fail. It is part of the game of life. Life is designed for you to fail at certain aspects. But here's the question. Have you become that person that can get up off the canvas when life knocks you down? The answer is yes, you're going to be just fine. The answer is no. Please do some soul searching. Look at that person in the mirror and say, how can I fix this? And get to work.
Brother, love it, man. Love what you're doing. Love your past, your stories, your lessons for our audience. And thanks for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, I'm going to close this out. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in with another Community Connections show. Special guest, Marques Ogden. We'll have all the links in the bio, and we'll see you again next time.
This has been the Community Connection Show with Ryan Sauers. Stay on the lookout for new or past shows with community leaders wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you want to see the video interview of any show, visit communityconnectionstv.com. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we will see you next time.